So the students in particular who have been listening to us as far as geography as an optional is concerned, you throw some special light on that. I may not be on the screen because I want to basically be a listener now, and then would learn from your deliberation, and then I'm watching off screen. So I would like to pass on this baton to Rohit sir, and then he would go deeper into this entire journey, and will be so nice. And then I think I'm very thankful for you to taking time off for us, and we're very happy with the result.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. How about you, Rohit sir?
Hi, Gunjan.
Hello, sir.
I welcome you on KSG platform, and I wish you very big congratulations for that matter, because you have scored, you have achieved a very big feat. And UPSC, as we can say, as in you have achieved 16th rank in UPSC, it itself is a big achievement, huge achievement. And
thank you, sir.
I've seen your overall reports, as in this. I think this was your third attempt, right?
Yes, sir. This was my third attempt.
I heard you couldn't clear prelims in first attempt. Then you,
yes, sir.
In second attempt, you reached up to interview, and in this year, you 16th rank.
Yes, sir. That's how my journey has been.
So, Gunjan, I just wanted to know what exactly different things you have done in this particular attempt which made the difference, and that too such a huge difference.
Sir, actually, I think talking about this very successful attempt, I do not think that only this year has helped. The preparation that I did in this year itself has helped me get through the exam, because all the cumulative knowledge that I have been gathering since 2016, and though I had certain failed attempts earlier, but all that actually culminated into this thing, this All India Rank 16. So I think the things that I have done, the things I have prepared, I've kept my sources very limited. And since 2016, the July 2016, I have started this preparation, and since then I've stuck to certain sources and certain the strategy, what we call the plan, we say, and by following that, I think I have been able to achieve this.
Okay. So, listening to what you are saying, what I can figure out is you never bogged down in those 3 attempts, or what? As in, you always knew that one day you would make it.
No, sir. Actually, when I started this preparation, I had so much of zeal and passion, enthusiasm, what we can call of, that I would clear my exam in the very first attempt. So when I had left my job and came to Delhi in 2016, I thought that 2017 would be my first and the last attempt, but the case was not so. So there were certain ups and downs, and then there were times when I had certain second thoughts too, that am I really capable for this this examination, or the stress or the struggle that is going on. But then overall, when we summarize and we take an average, it comes, the sum of all the highs and lows that we go through. The parents, there are certain friends all along.
How you kept yourself motivated? How you kept yourself motivated all the time?
I think this very examination, sir, I would say that why are we entering into this examination? The very thought, that the very inner core feeling that is very personal to us, be it anything, be it the prestige, be it serving to a nation, be it anything like power or matchmaking or anything that is going on in our heads. That thing is very personal to us, sir, and that keeps us driven throughout. So I decided to prepare for civil services when I got the opportunity of working in a village when I was doing my graduation in IIT Roorkee. And that time, sir, I realized the challenges that we face on the ground level, and how as external agents it becomes difficult to bring some kind of behavioral change or certain kind of changes. And then it was that moment when I realized that if I get into services, if I become the part of the state, internal to an internal agent, maybe I'll be able to convince people in a better way and all those things. Then keeping myself motivated throughout, I think my parents have a big role in this. There is a form of poetry known as Veeras. Veeras is a form of poetry in which the emotion is all about the courage, valor, and strength. So my parents, they read a lot, so they kept on there were many lows at times. I thought, should I quit now? Like, I don't think I might join an NGO later and do some kind of work, that the work I'm aspiring for. So they kept on like motivating me कि हार नहीं मानूंगा, रार नहीं ठानूंगा, काल के कपाल पर लिखता मिठाता हूँ, गीत नया गाता हूँ. So there were things. Then in this process, sir, we lose out a lot of friends, like the friends from college, from a job and everywhere. But then there were 2-3 friends who kept on motivating. So yes, sir. So there is a time, I like, to all the people watching and who would be watching this video, I would say that in this journey, try to pick on those few people who would have belief in you, and who would have belief in you, and who would say that you go, you struggle, and you do you work hard, maybe just one day at a time, even if you're like feeling very low. So luckily I had that set of 2-3 friends. And also, sir, in this process, what I found was that while we are studying, and like the whole preparation goes monotonous, and it is very, and sometimes like I had done my coachings in 2016. Past that, post that, I was just doing self study. So there are at times we are not able to assess ourselves or evaluate ourselves in a better manner. Like, are we heading into the right direction? So for that matter, if the students, all the aspirants who are watching this, if they can form, a very small group of very sincere and very regular 3-4 students, and that is how you then keep yourself motivated throughout. Like, okay, so let's do maybe polity today, and like all 3 of us are doing polity, and that is how. So yes, to summarize, there were people all throughout. There was some kind of passion in me which kept on telling me that, okay, just give one more attempt. If you fail, maybe then there is the option of NGO and other things. And meanwhile, like whenever I had time, I went to Karol Bagh, and there were a few NGOs that I had joined, and on weekends I would go and I would teach some small children. So yes, sir, those were very small flickering moments which told me, look, this is something I find total joy and delight. So why not just prepare and maybe take one more chance. So this was all.
The way you are saying, it seems as if public service is all in your blood. As in you are so much motivated towards that. I'm sure you must have got a very good marks in your interview.
Hopefully, sir, but that is the one thing, like whatever be the core motivation, like it can be personal, it can be anything, even if it is prestige, then keep that very core motivation so dear to you that it keeps driving you. So to all the aspirants, just be real with yourself.
Absolutely. This is a very positive thought which you have given, Gunjan. Gunjan, moving forward, as we know that you had geography as your optional. So
yes, sir.
When people come in UPSC, they have a lot of conceptions regarding geography. Some of them feel that geography is interesting, maybe conceptual. It's interesting. Some of them also feel that geography is, since last few years, geography is not performing well. But I hope they'll not say this year, because we have got a very excellent result in the form of yours. But then, what would you think? What would you say about geography as an optional? How much geography has played role in your overall success?
Sir, talking about geography as an optional and the apprehensions that people have in general about choosing geography as their optional subject, I would say more than the marking system or whatever the post-exam pattern is, I think because the syllabus of geography is so diverse and it's so vast, and the kind of questions that are being asked are dynamic in nature, and even when we see the paper 2 of geography, we all ponder at times, like these questions are so generic in nature and these are so GS type answers, and how to make them geography. So that is the very dynamic nature of the examination. And again, the syllabus, like geography, when I started preparing geography, because I was good in history and geography back in my school days, so I had that bit of notion that, okay, so I am good at these things, and I think I want to choose a humanities subject also, so let me take this. But then when I entered the whole preparation process, and when I started reading the human geography aspects, and then I realized that this is very vast. Like it covers aspects from society, like we study the women issues here, we study about the demography here, then we study about the economic aspects in the economic geography, or in the resources and all those things. So it is so ever over encompassing, like it has a lot of syllabus in it. So I think that is one thing that that people are very apprehensive about geography. So sir, talking about the contribution now, like because the syllabus is vast and it's diverse, so we have to study a lot, but then there is a very positive side to it. Just by doing geography in a very good manner, I was able to cover a lot of my GS also in that, using my geography knowledge. So contribution of geography is quite immense, sir. With having geography as an optional today, I have a fair bit of knowledge about the economic issues, about the gender issues that we have, or about the climate change issues, or the water scarcity, the disaster issues. So I think with geography as an optional, it has contributed not only in boosting my intellect, not boosting my knowledge base, but also in helping me cover a lot of topics also. So like if I talk of GS3, GS3, the agriculture, the economic part. So believe me, a lot of the infrastructure, energy, and all those topics that we have in GS3 is all covered by the geography, the geography subject as an optional. And even the GS1 has geography as a particular subject in it. So there also geography helped me in essay writing too. Because I had the knack of like the places and a few of thinkers, like the concept of place and placelessness, and how people relate to the places. So I could use those concepts quite well, even in my essay topic also. So yes sir, geography has helped me. And even in prelims also, like the questions that come on maps, like I think there was a question in 2018 that if we on the same longitude, like which is the nearest to each other, it was something on those lines, like Bangalore and Delhi, those questions. So these mapped questions and all those things, I think geography has helped me in clearing those two.
Okay. That means, see, although we say that geography is a vast subject, but somewhere or the other it compensates us in GS topics. And
exactly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Although you would take more time to prepare geography, at the same time you are covering your GS topics as well, right?
Yes, sir. And one more thing I would say, sir, like though the subject is very vast, and actually it took me like 2 or 3 years to actually realize like what to study and what not to study. But if we plan our the preparation, even in the optional also, in a way that we understand the demand of the examination, and if we analyze like the previous year questions, and we evaluate our own strength and weaknesses, like am I good in physical geography or am I good in human geography? And in those, like there would be like two compulsory questions, and the optional one, like should I choose from which section should I choose more? And if I'm choosing like from human geography more, so in my, like I have 40 days in my preparation, where should I focus more? So even though the syllabus is very vast and everything, if we plan our preparation accordingly, I think we can do it in a very limited time also.
Gunjan, in your when you were saying about geography, one very important thing which you have mentioned was in paper 2, generally you said that the questions which they're asking, those questions are so it's a challenge to make it geography specific.
Yes, sir.
What exactly do you think you have done because of those answers which are there in paper 2 became more geography centric?
Yes, sir. So my understanding of geography till now has been that paper 1 is the core geography, like it is full of concepts, it is full of the theories and the very core things that geography talks about. And paper 2 is more of an applied aspect of the geographical understanding that we have. So what we can do is that we have learned the concepts, the theories in our paper 1, and in the questions of paper 2, if we can relate and we can bring, we can import those theories and concepts. So if we can interlink these two things, for example, if I can quote, like if there is a question on food processing industries, like how food processing industries would boost the rural economy and all those things, if it is on those lines, What we can do is, when we write about GS, then we can write about like how food processing industries would help in the import, export, and how they would they would provide more employment. So we in GS answer we write on the generic terms, like we think of a framework in our mind that we'll think of the stakeholders here, and then we'll write the answer. But if we are talking about geography, what we can do is we can import the concepts like the growth pole, the spread effect, the breaking down of the cumulative causation theory. And here and because it is the geography paper, so if we can make use of this space efficiently, like if we can put some map, like I can make a small map of India, and I can make certain plans, like in Punjab there is some food processing plant going on, and in Assam also, in Northeast also, we are trying to make a hub with 7 plants, and we can jot down those points and we can label a bit, and we can write that this scheme like Sampada or this scheme is like running. And that is how like we can make use of certain case studies, and all these case studies, all these maps, all these things we can very clearly get from our prelims preparation. Like when we are preparing in prelims, we constantly go through those current affair facts, like a new food processing plant is being opened here, or a new scheme related to food processing has come up. So if we can gather all those points and we can jot down somewhere, like we can make notes of like put a heading and say case studies and food processing industries and like 4-5 examples down the line, and then we can use these like case study examples. So that is the way we can in an applied aspect, like a question which is all about applied aspects, we can bring in geography. Moreover, sir, I think like for the students who are watching this, you might be thinking like, okay, so I have all those jargons, the cumulative causation, I have growth pole, I can talk about the backward and the forward linkages, but then how to write the answer? So for this, I think we can break our answer into small subheadings, and that is how it gives the structure to our answer. So like if I'll talk about the paper to here, so like if there is any question and it is saying critically analyze, it's saying discuss, comment, or whatever, so firstly we have to see the keywords. These would be our primary keywords. If it is comment, it means that abhi hamara views would be asked, like what we are thinking about it, that is, will this plan work or not? If it is critically analyzed, we have to now think in the pros and cons, and then we have to come out, okay, so will this thing work or not? So firstly that keyword we have to understand. Then we should understand the demand of the question, like what it is asking, that there would be some secondary keywords also, like the role of food processing industries in boosting economy. So the word is here, role of food processing industries. So we have to understand that. Now in answer writing, we should not write all that we know about food processing industries. If it is the role of industries, then we should focus on its importance and the significance and its role, and maybe bit of challenges if critically analyze is coming. So we should do that. Now in structuring the answer, what we can do is, and yes sir, I actually used this very knowledge of breaking down. I learned this thing of breaking down my answer into subheadings in geography optional, and I used this very thought the way of answer writing in other GS also. Like if it is a 15 marker question, that 3 pages we are getting, maybe we can break into 3 or 4 headings. And if it is a 10 marker, like just 2 pages, then we can break it into 2 headings. And that is how we get the structure of our question. So food processing industries as growth poles, food processing industries breaking the cumulative causation and the primacy effect. So that is how we have put the heading, and now we can explain and we can talk about the forward backward linkages and how it will help in the agroclimatic the thing we talk of, the agroclimatic productivity and cultivation, that because now food processing industries, now with that there would be a diversified and there would be parity, not just region wise, there would be parity in crop wise. And then we can talk of that another subheading, like food processing industries in bringing regional development, like the keyword. So we can use these keywords from our various syllabus, like the regional planning and development and all those things, and then we can say that how it can boost, and with a multiplier effect it can just boost the whole of the rural economy. So these are the things, we should keep the topics of the syllabus in our mind. We should try to interlink with the concept, the theories of paper 1, the case studies, the examples that we read in our prelims, extensive map making, the diagrams, and if we can pitch in a few more flow charts. If we are like running short of words, short of space, then we can make use of flow charts and certain diagrams. Yes.
Exactly. So all in all, you're saying interlinking of paper 1 with paper 2, that's very important. Second is, as in I'm summarizing all what you have said.
Yes, sir.
Case studies is also something which is very important, right? So we should have the list of case studies at a particular place so that we'll be able to find all of them. Third, you said the importance of diagrams. That too, the diagrams should be quite innovative. It should not be as in whatever diagrams which are given in books, it should not be only those diagrams. Rather, you should create new diagrams as well in the examination. Okay, so that's
so like I remember, like I remember in my food processing industry, I'm not sure I did this in a test series or this question came in in the mains examination, but there was a question regarding the food processing industries, and I just made a very small diagram that these are the areas where we can make use of the very agroclimatic, the crops that they are present, and how we can make, and that was the innovative diagram that you talked of. And from there also I just made a very small diagram that how the waste generated can also become the part of the circular economy. So in that very small diagram, I just jotted down certain points along the margins. So that is how we can innovate, and this can only come when we practice back at home. Like we make a good collection of 50 to 100 answers, and then after that we are good to go.
Exactly. This is a very very enlightening thing which you have said, Gunjan. Talking about answer writing, I wanted to ask you, see, many times students come to us and they are from, let's say, first attempt and second attempt.
Yes, sir.
And they're always like, sir, हमारे पास enough data नहीं है. We don't have enough data because we haven't read much as of now. We start answer writing. Is it necessary that we should start answer writing from now, or we should read first something, start with an answer writing and all? What would you suggest them?
Yes, sir. This is like a very genuine problem that we students have faced throughout. Like this was my case also. When in 2016 I came to Delhi, and the first time I opened Lakshmikant, and the first time I went through Spectrum, I could not even think of picking up the pen and writing answers. So that is where we have to strike balance, the balance of when to start and when not to procrastinate. So I would say that if we have like no knowledge at all, like what the question is asking, like if I do not know about the food processing industries or the role or their importance, then there is no need of wasting even the pages or my time or the ink. So what I would say that we should have some kind of basic knowledge with us. So like we should have read the NCRTs, we should have gone through, maybe if we are like following the current affair booklet of certain coaching, then so be it, or the Hindu or Indian Express newspapers we are going through, so we should do that. And for answer writing, maybe we can go through like few months editorials at large, because that is how we know like how they write the articles. And even I learned this thing of breaking the answer into my sub parts from the articles only, because how they like for the very same article they put down it into certain subheadings and then they write. So these things we can practice a bit, we can study. So if I tell my case, what I did was that I read certain editorials like for maybe 6 months regularly, and every day what I did was that just to test my understanding about the editorial, what I did was I summarized that editorial in my own words, breaking it into a question answer format and writing it on an A4 sheet, just one side of the A4 sheet, the whole of the editorial, the whole of the article. And that is how that was my like the first experience of writing the answers. Now after that we have certain knowledge of answer writing, we should try to understand that we cannot have the infinite capacity, that one day we'll have that all the perfect knowledge and the capacity to process all that knowledge. So that thing is a facade, that thing is an illusion. So that is where the procrastination begins. We should not do that. Whatever knowledge we have now, we should start writing. And in writing, we should not be very rigid, because I think we have some of our writing experiences from back in the school days or from the college days, so we have certain method or a way of writing the answers. But here we should constantly evolve, like whatever test series or whatever mentor a person is having, we should try to pay heed, like what they are trying to suggest. Am I really addressing the demand of the question or not? So we should continuously evolve in that. Also, regarding answer writing, I would say that from my experience, what I did was, like when I started answer writing, I never put a stopwatch, like in my 5 minutes I have to complete this answer, because that was my very first time. I had to understand what the question was.
Exactly.
So even if it takes like half an hour to an up to an hour also, like there is a question, research about it, try to think like what all points you can write, what examples you can say, and then write one good answer. And then keep on doing that, keep on doing that. And even if you like get poor marks in your test series or whatever, it's the answer is not up to the mark, then I need to do what else I need to like chip in. So sir, like even in this attempt, like I had given and I was already preparing, like in the COVID times, I had already was preparing for the test series, and I was like trying to make my answers more better. So I think that is the process, like we keep on continuously evolving and growing. And after like 15, 20 or maybe about 50 answers, now we know what to write and how to write, and then we can put a stopwatch, then we can have that 10-minute or 15-minute limit, whatever we set, and then we can start writing answers. And for this thing I had started doing this year, like what I did was I started doing two things regarding geography itself, that I started solving my previous year questions, because like we join a lot of test series and we do a lot of things. But then by the like it has been like my 3 years of my preparation, and I was getting short of questions, like I had exhausted most of the test series and all those things. So I switched to the previous year questions, and I liked this thing. Like to all the aspirants out there, I think the best way of practicing answers would be, maybe if you read a topic, then go back to the previous 10-year questions and see like what kind of questions are being asked from that topic, and then start practicing. I think that will be a real knowledge booster, and that will also prepare you for examination in a very good way. So we can do those things, and we can make a collection of or a set of good like 15, 20 answers for maybe for each of the topics, and not each of the topics, then those topics which are asked constantly, or which you think you are lacking in, or you might fumble when you will write the main examination. Then maybe practice like 15, 20 answers beforehand for that very topic. Now the day of the examination has come, you have 2-3 days before it, you can just go on through those pages, and you can, because you have done all, you have written all those things, so everything is already in our subconscious. You just need to go through the pages, and everything would be just fresh, and you can then do well in your paper.
Yeah. That's an absolutely wonderful thing which you have said, Gunjan. Because what happens
Yes,
is
sir.
many a times student join test series, they would write one test, maybe they would attempt first test paper, and once they start getting less marks, they would get demotivated and they would leave that test series altogether. They would not write any paper, and even if they are writing answer at their home, they would always be under this excuse that I don't have enough data, so I'll not write. Basically, and this fact
Yes,
that
sir.
they
So
are not
regarding, yes,
bench.
sir. Yes, sir. So regarding data, and that too becomes very important. I guess data has become very important all throughout. Now, data is the new oil that we always talk of, and data has become very important even in our GS and geography. So for that, I think like I was also on that side of complaining and cribbing all the time that I do not have enough data and facts. But then I realized if we go through the current affairs and all those things, there is constant data pouring in. Like there we get data about, like, okay, so this year India has ranked this in corruption index or in ease of doing business. So that is also data. So we can make list of the rankings. Okay, so in a GS answer, if it comes about the inclusive development, then we can start the answer with, okay, so India this year has got this rank in the inclusive development index. There is a lot of data about the women issues, like how much the women are facing the violence against women, or the data about all the vulnerable sections that we have in our GS. So why not we make notes and we can just jot down like 2-3 very relevant data. And even if when it comes to geography, like we can make just 4-5 pages about, like put a heading agriculture and and make it a net zone agriculture is close to 190 million hectares, whatever it is. Now I might be wrong, so because I've not revised. So yes, sir. No, sir, it does matter still. Going off the topic, but still, now at times I get restless कि अब पढ़ना नहीं है क्या? So now I have actually ordered a few books, like not from the syllabus, but like some of the thinkers and philosophers की अभी पढ़ना ऐसे. I'm not able to let go of that process. So yes, talking about the data and notes making, what we can do is we can make all those notes just 1-2 line, like what is the net zone area, gross zone area, what is the cropping intensity, what is the irrigation potential, how much is how many dams are present in India, how many are like 50 years old, 100 years old, and like all those things. And now when it comes to any kind of disaster question or anything, or anything on those lines, like how much of area of India is prone to floods and those things. So this data is very much available, even if you refer any current affairs booklet, or even if you go by the Hindu or Indian Express. So what we have to do is not to just go through and flip the pages. We need to take a copy with us, a pen, and make the heading of that copy should be data and facts, and then just bookmark the pages and try jotting down data, and you will realize that this process would become so easy, and your answer writing and everything all these things basically enrich the answer. Like they make if you are getting like 3 marks, it will help you in getting 3.5 marks, maybe 4 marks. So do not get bogged by the fact that you do not have data, so you would not write the answer. No, do not do that, because answer writing is about clearing your concepts, is all about that, what all that you have read till now and that you have processed in your mind, are you able to write it down correctly? That are your thoughts are being reflected in the right manner? So do not get bogged down by the fact that you do not have data, so I won't write. No, write it down so that you know that whatever you have read is right or not. And data is only just to enrich your answers and to maybe boost your marks.
Yes, exactly. Gunjan, one more thing, as in we have some of the topics in geography, and for example, the topic of economic geography, you have the topic of regional planning, right? Topic of environment geography, for that matter. These topics are quite dynamic in nature.
Yes,
sir. Students, either they would leave this topic altogether, or they would prepare it in a haphazard manner. What was your strategy to prepare that topic?
Yes, sir. I would say that there is not paucity of sources, but there is actually multitude of sources when we talk about geography. And that is where it becomes difficult for us, like which book to choose or which material to go by. And I had been facing this issue, like I have kept the syllabus with me here. And you're talking about the economic geography.
Yeah.
So what we can do is like we have this issue, like what to prepare in that and what not, and there is paucity of time from our side too. What we can do is we can if we have like no source at all, or like how to proceed, we can go through the previous year questions, and then we can see, like I have marked in my in this booklet, like I've marked like, okay, limits to growth has been asked like this many times, so maybe limits to growth is important and this is important. So if we have paucity of sources, if we do not have any coaching guidance, or if we are like feeling to have good material, what we can do is we can go by the previous year questions, and we can just pick out the words. Like if it is limits to growth, if the question is about food security, famine, cause, effect, and remedies. So now what we can do is, if we do not have sources, we can maybe Google these terms, and we can understand like what famine is. Like, is famine is just about hunger? Is it just about the scarcity of is it related with just droughts, or is it even a larger term, a bigger term that includes a lot many things? It includes a lot many social things, that is the deprivation of food, not just in terms of geographical unavailability. So that is how we need to prepare these questions. Like what we say is that geography is very big, but if we go by the topics one by one, like there is food and nutrition problems, and we go through a lot of food and nutrition problem articles throughout. Like there are articles from UNICEF, there are articles that regularly come in the newspapers and all those things. So we can, if we have like paucity of sources. Otherwise there are certain standard books, like there is Rupa Made Simple, I guess, part 1 and part 2. Then there are certain books on, like for India, we can have Majid Hussain and Khullar. So for these, we can refer to these books. But what I would suggest is that these books are now not that much updated, because they do not meet the demand of the questions. So better rely more on the dynamic aspects. We should know the keywords, what they mean, and then we should know like the case studies, the diagrams, and we can if it comes the food and nutrition problems, then we can make the world map, and we can tell in Africa like where the food and nutrition problems have come. We can even go retrospectively, we can think of like the the potato problem, that Ireland potato problem was once in news. So but it was a very old news. So by making the world map, we can jot down certain facts. Okay, so these have been the problems and like how they have grown. And here also we can use the concepts like how they have transitioned, like just the Rostov growth poll, the economic model, growth model, and the demographic transition model. Like these countries have now become food secure and all those things, and how the underdeveloped and the developing nations are moving along. So that is how we need to go through these topics. Yes, I believe there is paucity of sources, but and this paper is also all about said that we do not need to like know 100% in all the topics. Like there are certain weak points, and here we know that we have to just sail through. Like if a question comes in the compulsory section, then okay, so I should not be in a position that I do not know anything and I just leave it. So I should have that much fodder that I can fill in 2 pages, or I can understand the question. So there keep certain topics as your strength, where you know that whatever will come, you will out of 10 you might get 6 and 6.5, but there should be some questions. Okay, so if I like fare well, I get just 2-3 marks also, it is good enough. So we can prioritize our preparation in that way also.
Yeah, this is a very good thing, Gunjan, because see, many a times people believe that the students who are getting under 100 rank, those students are absolutely perfect and get like maximum marks in most of their questions and all. So that means what you're saying, from what you're saying is, it's not like that. Actually, the reason why you have achieved this rank is because you have perfected your strengths. You try to excel in your
yes sir. It is not, and it is not just about mains, it is about prelims also. So like, and when we talk about strategy, sir, one thing that I do not actually like even coming live and talking about my strategies, because I have never followed any topper's strategy. Because what is a strategy? It is my own method of studying, it is my own very plan, and that is very personal thing which differs from person to person. So if we start emulating someone's strategy or someone's plan, okay, so that guy has studied like 18 hours a day, I'll study 20. No, it doesn't work that way. If my capacity, if my limitation is that I can just put in 2 hours and I need a break of half an hour, so be it, I'll do it that way. So to all the aspirants out there, like I'm the 16th person here in the list, there are many more above and below me, and there many more would come, and many more have like from the previous years. So there is plethora of strategies, but when it comes to strategy making, make it your very own. Like try to understand what your strength and weakness is. So sir, what I evaluated is that I have this much time, and I have like geography optional, I have means to cover, I have essay also, and then there is prelims. So I had my strength and weaknesses. To talk very frankly, sir, if I talk about prelims, I have not studied medieval history till date, and that is no boasting at all, and that is no way to tell you that okay, so leave out on that topic. No, but because I had understood my limitations, that now in the limited time I cannot open the NCRT and I cannot read it, because we have a capacity, we have a limitation in processing information, learning it. And then when we focus all the time on revision, why not, sir? What I evaluated or what I assessed from my knowledge was that if like 4 or 5 questions come from medieval, okay, so for that 4 or 5, if I like put that time into some other topic, like if I do my environment, if I do my polity, my economics, my modern history, the spectrum part, if I do that well, and if I can in that very time, if I can like do my current affairs a bit more, like just not just from one booklet, maybe I can do one more booklet in that time, just to assure myself that I do not get any question left out from the current affairs. So that is how I planned it. But then for any person who is who might be watching this video, like if you are going through some topic, maybe you are going through if you are reading economics, and you are if you're taking a lot of days for you to understand GDP or the national accounting, and you are not having any guide, mentor or coaching institute help with you, what you can do is just try to see, okay, so how many questions come from this. Now this is a very risky thing, because we are never sure what will come, but that is how you this is what is called strategy. That is how you go ahead and evaluate, and that is where you take risk. So okay, I'm not able to understand GDP thing at all. What I can do is, okay, so if even if a question comes from this, I'll take the risk of leaving this, but the 3-4 days that I have taken in understanding this, I will use this time in maybe revising Lakshmikant one more time, in learning the spectrum one more time, and going through like the economics or the current affairs one more time, learning about the national parks, about the critically endangered species, because there is a lot to learn, and we have to prioritize what we can do and what we cannot. So that is what I did in my prelims, and that has what I have been doing in my geography also. So I am not sure that I should speak all these things, because these things might
Yes,
make
exactly.
people complacent. Like
No, no,
if I
no.
talk like
Actually,
about my
yeah,
job, yes sir.
yeah. Tell me,
Like
tell me.
if I talk about yes sir. So like about when I speak about my geography paper 2 preparation, and because like in my first year, and I'm like a bundle of mistakes, guys. If anyone is watching this, like I could not balance my mains and prelims strategy quite well. So in my first year, I focused totally on prelims. In my second year, when the results came out, then I started the mains preparation. That is what where my mistake was, speculating the result, being underconfident all the time. So these are the things. If anyone is watching this, try not to repeat, do these mistakes. And the third attempt, when we have so less time, what I decided was that there is a 20 marks question on map, and I realized that learning, because doing map in the paper 2, the places that are asked, what we need to have the knack of all those places, and then we have to like describe the places in 2-3 lines briefly. And I realized that with time, that as the time was passing by, I could not do that thing. So instead of like panicking at the very end moment, I like prepared myself mentally. Okay, so if it comes in the examination that I have to leave out on those 20 marks, so be it. Like if Chilika Lake or Pulicat Lake, if these are coming, okay, so I can mark. But if a very remote place is coming, and because I have not like gone through the map, the places so extensively, I might leave on that. But what I did was, I prepared myself. If I'm able to, if I'm having the courage to leave those 20 questions, 20 marks, now in every question I will boost like 1 marks more. So I prepared a lot more on like my diagrams, my maps, and how to like relate more with the paper, the one concept Zudna paper too. So that is the risk. This is very personal, and this is something I would not boast of, that okay, you can take this bigger risk. But with the paucity of time comes, you know, the challenges, comes your own innovation and then your own method. Let's see how the marks come, like how much I fared in my paper 2 geography. And if like I have done good, then I can say, okay, so yes, what my strategy was okay to some extent. So
Then,
this is
as
how
per your
one
rank,
should proceed.
as per your rank, I think in most of the subjects you must have scored more than average. Average, so it's very small thing for
हाँ,
you. It
yes
will
sir.
be more than average, obviously.
हो सकता है, मतलब डेफिनेटली सर. और ऐसा भी नहीं था कि मैंने पूरे 20 मार्क्स का मैप छोड़ दिया था. देयर वर फ्यू ऑफ द प्लेसेस जो मुझे समझ में आ रहे थे कि दीज आर द थिंग्स आई नो आई कैन डू. बट मैंने पहले से ही अपने दिमाग में बना लिया था कि अगर
Okay.
छोड़ने का होगा तो छोड़ दूंगी, पैनिक नहीं करूंगी. बिकॉज not losing your cool is a very important thing in this examination. If you lose your cool, if you panic at the very end moment, I have a lot of friends who have prepared a lot more than me, but they could not clear their prelims because they panicked at the very last moment. So that is how you prepare yourself कि छोड़ने को आएगा तो छोड़ दूंगी, because इतना कॉन्फिडेंस है कि मैंने बाकी को बहुत अच्छे से प्रिपेयर करके गई हूँ.
Excellent,
मतलब
excellent.
देन आई हैड डन माय एग्रीकल्चर, माय फिजिकल, द टॉपिक लाइक द फिजिकल सेटिंग, रिसोर्सेज, एग्रीकल्चर, इंडस्ट्रीज, ये इन सब पे मैंने अच्छे से फोकस कर लिया था कि यहाँ पर नहीं छोड़ना है. सो दैट शुड बी द थिंग. अपने आप को पैनिक नहीं करना है. डोंट लूज योर कूल, डोंट बी अंडर कॉन्फिडेंट.
That's a very good thing which you have said, Gunjan. Talking about your interview, Not
Yes,
only
sir.
as in the role of, as in you have gone through this mock interviews over here in KSG and all.
Mm-hmm.
What was your experience?
Mm-hmm. So like my first association with KSG was last year itself. Like when I was appearing for my interviews last year, that was the first time I came to KSG, and I enrolled myself for the mock interview session. And then when I met Khan sir, so like he is such a delightful person, and he's such a delight and such an enlightening and encouraging personality. Like of all the mock tests that I have been through, he has been the one who I do not like. I was so not sure about myself, but he like kept pushing me. Okay, so maybe you do this, you do that, and the set of questions that he provided, that helped me a lot to think about like how to proceed in my interview preparation. Because at that time, when I talk about my first interview attempt, that was in 2018, I was quite naive. Like I was not knowing what to say, what not to say, and like what to prepare and what not to prepare. So that is where Khan sir helped me a lot, and he is there are like no words to describe him. Like I gave my his number to all my friends like who were preparing, and I said just go and talk to him, and he'll motivate you. Like there is my friend Anshim also, he prepared last year, and he was like constantly talking with sir through on WhatsApp, like sir, I have this doubt and I have that doubt. And the way sir is available all the time, and with he's so selfless in his act while helping us. And this year too, when I came back taking the mock interview, and he recognized me and he said, okay, so you could not make it that time, no worries, these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses, work this time, and this time make sure that you make through it. So my whole interview, the preparation process has been made very simple, and I actually realized that it is all about the personality, and to not just get bogged down by the lack of knowledge if I'm having at any point, and I should be more truthful and more honest in how I express myself. So all these things I learned a lot from Khan sir.
So, as Khan sir has said that he is very proud of you, even we are indeed very proud of you, Gunjan. All the best for
Thank
your
you, sir.
future.
It's my honor.
Enjoy the success.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
You deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.